We're telling tales of the music we grew up with. That's the 70s plus more. So crank it up. Let's set the tone. It's more than music, it's the life we own. Take it away, fat man.
Well, welcome to another exciting episode of Mick and the Fat Man, Series 6, Episode 2. G'day, Mick. Happy rock and roll to you, and how are you travelling, sir?
Mate, I am just fine. Yeah, living the dream, as they say.
Fantastic. Well, Mick, it's been a good start to the year. We welcomed in 2026 on Australia Day, as we do every year now. It's our
absolutely
new thing. And now we're back out again doing another exciting podcast. Why don't you wander over there and grab the beautiful Glowbite travel bag with luxurious interior, and why don't you, let's just get that. You've got a zipper there now too, haven't you? You've actually
Well, we
zipper
discovered, yeah, it's had a zipper all along, and you've just been forcing it.
Yeah, okay. Now you can get the and just get that. Just get those other ones as well. There we go. All right, Mick, tell us, what have you... Oh, Jesus Christ, that one at the back gets us every time, doesn't it?
It does every time, yeah. Yeah, I never noticed it because the bag's so big.
Oh, what have you got loaded in there this time, mate?
Mate, last year we talked about the rise of the double album, and in that episode we talked about great double albums of the 70s, which there were some fantastic ones.
Sure.
Yeah, Led Zeppelin, Elton John, and so on and so on. And I thought that there was too many last year to put it all into one episode, so we said sometime this year we'll talk about great double albums of the 80s, and this is that sometime.
Fair enough. So, well, everybody, welcome to another exciting episode of Double Albums. Always a controversial thing about whether double albums are great or not, and we shall discuss that in this show.
I think we shall.
So let's move on, mate.
Rock and roll heaven just keeps getting better as our artists are passing away. But we remember then here with words of good cheer and a love that will not fade away as we knock on heaven's door. Rock and roll heaven just keeps getting better.
It's been a while since we've discussed the passing of rock stars, hasn't it?
Well, at least over the Christmas break we didn't do a lot of it.
No, we did not. And one of the big ones has passed away just recently from Midnight Oil, Rob Hirst.
Oh, what a loss! Yeah, what a fabulous drummer. We talked about Midnight Oil in the past, and he was the heart and soul of that band. Peter Garrett, the bald-headed singer, might have been the conscience, although Hirst was involved in that as well.
Yes.
But the rhythmic beat, the way that heart beat in that band, was Rob Hirst all the way.
And we've talked about, even modern bands, using drum machines and stuff like that. There's no way in the world you could put a drum machine in the back of Midnight Oil, is there?
Not a hope in hell.
Because this guy was dynamic. Seeing him live, it was a dynamic show, and he was instrumental in making that sound. He was also instrumental in writing, and he was just an all-round good guy.
Well, absolutely. There's certainly in Australia, he's idolised, from one of the best bands Australia's ever produced. And I've noticed in the last couple of days comments from people whose opinions I normally despise, but their plethora of praise for Rob Hirst and sort of recounting anecdotes of seeing the band live and so on and so on. It's all there. He cut across all opinion levels, all age groups. Anyone who liked Midnight Oil.
And he was busy. He was always busy, even when Midnight Oil was had quite a few hiatuses and retirings and stuff like that. He was in the Ghostwriters, the Backsliders, the Angry Tradesman, the Break, and also I think we mentioned it last year, or it might have been the year before. I don't know. Over COVID, he got in touch. Well, sorry, before COVID, he was in the US, and he met his adopted daughter, not a daughter that he adopted, but a daughter that he put out for adoption. And she became a relatively well-known country singer in the US. And during COVID, they made an album together across the Pacific, and pushed the master tapes back and forward, and contributed and made an album. So it's a really great story.
It is. That's a lovely story, and it's interesting that you highlight that they had regular hiatus. What's the plural of hiatus?
Hiatusum.
Hiati. They had regular breaks from Midnight Oil because, look, frankly, it would have been impossible to maintain that level of passion and energy day in, day out for 30 or 40 years.
And Garrett had to go into politics and become an education minister and all that sort of stuff. So,
that's right, and then leave it.
And then leave it wisely.
Yeah.
Wisely, yeah. But yeah, so Vale, Rob Hirst, and I feel really privileged to have seen one of their last concerts in Broome, which was absolutely fantastic. I think it was about maybe the third or fourth last concert they ever did.
Yep.
I think they finished their concert last concert in Sydney from memory. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, and that was an amazing concert. They still had it. I mean, there wasn't Peter Garrett probably didn't quite have the same amount of energy as he did when he was 40, 50 years younger, oddly enough.
Strangely enough.
But still fantastic.
That's right. We saw Midnight Oil so many times over the years. You recall one at Cronulla that we saw a live concert, obviously, on stage at the beach, a free concert at the beach, where it was pouring with bloody rain and still a crowd covering every available space. And because it was so wet, Peter Garrett didn't want to get anything wet, so he came out in a pair of Speedos.
And a surfboard.
Yeah, exactly. Dressed to impress.
That was a great concert, wasn't it?
It was indeed.
It was an absolute ripper of a concert. Yeah, so now you may remember that back in the early 80s, somewhere I think, or maybe the late 70s, you and I embarked on a bus trip with the boys into Central Australia. You may also not remember it particularly well because it was a busy trip.
in every respect.
We went into Central Australia, went to Alice Springs, and back in the day, Ayers Rock and the Olgas, as they were called back in those days. And we had a great time, really good time.
It was one of the memorable trips of the boys' teenagerhood.
And we were with a company called Centralian Staff Holidays, and they go there and do that. And they used to play, buses. It was a bus of old in that there was no videos that they have on buses now or movies. There was just the CD player. No, cassette player, I beg your pardon.
It's not that modern.
Cassette player. And apart from the fact they used to play the Centralian Staff Holiday jingle fairly regularly, they also used to play a fellow by the name of Ted Egan. Now, Ted unfortunately passed away in December, but kind of a Australian folk hero from the Northern Territory, and he had a great song called "The Drinkers of the Northern Territory," which was, they got some bloody good drinkers in the Northern Territory. From Darwin down to Alice Springs, they're always on a spree.
That sounds familiar.
Out in the Buckley Tablelands and across to VRD, we've got some bloody good drinkers in the Northern Territory. Now, oddly enough, VRD is Victoria River Downs.
Ah, well done, thank you.
If you look the lyrics up on wherever you look the lyrics up, it doesn't really matter, Shazam, any of those things, look up the lyrics. It goes across to question mark, question mark, question mark.
Ah, so love a cryptic lyric.
They don't know where it is. So it's Victoria River Downs, which was one of the biggest pastoral leases in the Northern Territory in the time. Anyway, so he used to play the, I don't remember what he used to call it, but it was an empty beer can box.
Yes.
I don't know, he had a name for it, I think. Did that, and then he became a public servant and went on to become the administrator, which is kind of like the premier in other states, the the administrator of the Northern Territory, was a big one for Indigenous rights and making sure and helping Indigenous maintain their history and lifestyle. So, yeah, a huge figure in the Northern Territory and a huge figure for us who listened to probably only the one album, I dare say, every day.
Every single day.
For about a fortnight.
15 days, yes.
It was great. So, yeah, Vale, Ted Egan, a great life and, a great man. So thanks very much for everything there, mate. What about Robert McLean Taylor? Now, not a name that I would even be familiar with, probably called Rob Taylor, I dare say.
Yeah.
New Zealand-born Australian guitarist, That's how we do it over here. Anything good that comes out of New Zealand, we say it's Australian.
And the reverse is also true.
Yeah.
Deport them.
That's right. But he was best known as the guitarist for Dragon from 1974 to 1984. And if you're familiar with April Sun in Cuba, dun, 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 that is Mr. Taylor. And that riff, I think, is worthy of a mention on Rock and Roll Heaven, and we thank him for that.
I think so, yes. Well done.
A great thing. Now, I'll give the formal title of the next fellow by the name of Christopher Anton Rea, or as we tend to call him, Chris Rea.
Yep.
Another English rock and blues singer-songwriter, great guitarist, really good guitarist.
He was very good, wasn't he? Yeah.
Very good guitarist. Had a very nice sort of gravelly voice. Quite a few albums. I've got 3 of his albums, I think, from memory. Fantastic muso. And was a big Formula One fan.
Yes, in particular, he was a big fan of Ayrton Senna.
That's right. And so I think some of his music ended up in the Ayrton Senna biopic, or not a biopic.
BBC did a documentary,
yeah. I don't remember the music personally, but...
No, I don't, because it was such a good documentary, and Ayrton Senna was such good fodder for the documentary. But nonetheless, I recall every aspect of it being great. And
so he was fairly heavily involved with the Jordan team, was down in the pits and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, a busy F1 kind of guy. That's right. He's in the Jordan team in 1995 in the Monaco Grand Prix. So yeah, fantastic stuff.
That's an achievement. That's something to hand on down to your kids, isn't it?
Went to the Monaco Grand Prix.
Yep. Did you see Chris Rea?
Didn't see Chris. Didn't see Ayrton Senna either.
No, he's probably dead.
I did see Ricciardo.
Oh, yeah, yep.
He was around back in those days.
Good Aussie bloke.
And we sat in the grandstand across from the marina where all the rich people were sitting in their boats.
Oh, nice. I think it's interesting, just as an aside, that your pronunciation of Ricciardo's name was more Roy and HG than Ayrton Senna.
Indeed. Indeed, yes. The Roy Slaven pronunciation.
Exactly right, yes.
Ricciardo. There's the modern F1 has got Oscar Piastri, who's done very well. Ended up coming in third in the Drivers' Championship.
In controversial circumstances.
Thanks to the team fucking things up.
Yep.
And Mark Webber is his manager. So Mark Webber was another F1 driver for Australia. Yeah, we don't have a lot of F1 drivers.
I think we bat well above our weight.
Yes. But Piastri is safely ensconced in... I saw a little clip of him the other day being interviewed and going for a drive around Monaco in his McLaren, oddly enough, given that he drives for McLaren. They give him one.
Fantastic.
Have a McLaren to drive.
Yeah, just take one of those out, will you, mate?
I would love to get into a McLaren. I'd never get out.
No.
I'd be there for the rest. They'd have to crane me out.
Yeah. They're not exactly your standard plush, luxurious 4-wheel drive meant for driving down the shops.
When we went to the Monaco Grand Prix, well, we were staying in a place called Menton, which was not far away, right on the Italian border. And for the week, we were there for a week before the race started. But leading up to that, there was just a continual progression of supercars driving. There's this the coast road sort of goes from Monaco, or from Nice basically, all the way through to Menton, and everybody drives the coast road in their supercars. So there was all these long lines of supercars driving along together and driving past. We were staying in a little apartment across the road from the water, and all these supercars would drive past.
And you were waving to them?
I was waving to them,
as
saying,
you do.
"How you going? Good to see you." Yeah, it was kind of surreal, to be honest with you.
To say the least.
To say the least. Yeah, so anyway, and final one for our...
You got a big list today.
Well, there's been a bit of death.
It's going around.
Been a bit of death. Bob Weir. Bob Weir, born 1947, died 2026. So he was, what was he, 80, or 79, 80?
Yeah, near on 80, yeah.
Obviously one of the founding members of the Grateful Dead. On New Year's Eve, 1963, apparently, as an underage 16-year-old, Weir and his friends were wandering the back streets of Palo Alto looking for a club that would admit them when they heard banjo music. They followed the music to its source, Dana Morgan's music store. They encountered a 21-year-old Jerry Garcia, oblivious to the date, waiting for his students to arrive. Which they never did, oddly enough.
Yeah.
Weir and Garcia spent the night playing music together, and so started an era. Lovely story, isn't it?
It is. And I think it's wonderful. He's lived to 80 despite a prodigious consumption of marijuana.
And, I never really got into Grateful Dead for, I don't know why.
No, I'm a bit the same. I wouldn't classify myself as a rounded expert in Grateful Dead, but I've got to say I've heard quite a bit of their stuff. Really bloody good musicians.
Yeah.
A bit stoned, but
yeah. Well, that's my greatest memory of Grateful Dead is on Woodstock, where Jerry Garcia is sitting there rolling a joint and holds the joint up to the camera and says, "Marijuana, Exhibit E." That's all I got.
Well, him and Bob now can have a chat.
That's right, yeah. So let's wander aimlessly along. 1001 albums you must listen to before you die, sir. Now, as we're doing double albums, I once again was decided not to randomly go for an album out of Big Bad Bob's book. I thought, let's seek out a double album. I toyed with Blonde on Blonde, but I thought, no, Mick will have a lot to say on Blonde on Blonde, so I'll leave it. I won't do Blonde on Blonde. I went to page 376 and Out of the Blue, Electric Light Orchestra. I knew Mick would be pretty excited about that. He's always been a big fan of ELO, and Out of the Blue was always, he loves a double album and a double album of ELO. Whoa! What more could you want in life?
Oh, dear.
So, Out of the Blue, page 376, producer Jeff Lynne, cover art John Kosh and Rhea LaWerk. 70 minutes of magnificent music. Got to number 3, was there for 31 weeks. Bunch of singles off it. Let's face it, this is a mammoth undertaking that pretty much it's Jeff Lynne, isn't it? Really, this is just Jeff Lynne. He just made this amazing album, and we criticise Rolling Stone magazine for some of the things they write, but I'll just give you Billy Altman's from the Rolling Stone, what he said about the album. Meticulously produced and performed, and showed the influence of the Beatles, the Beach Boys, and the Bee Gees.
All bands, only bands that start with B. So he's a bit limited alphabetically.
Except there is the Bee Gees, so there's a G in there. But look, overall, there's 4 Bs and 1 G, so the Bs went out big time. Yep. However, he detected a lack of passion in the work, which he's dismissed as a totally uninteresting and horrifyingly sterile package, and all method and no madness, perfectly hollow and bland rock music. Cruel.
Oh, dear. Mate, I'm automatically dubious about anything that comes out of Rolling Stone.
Sure.
They've had some wins over the years, but they've had as many losses. And this is I find myself conflicted because I so violently agree with this reviewer's comments that it's. Look, I found the album, no matter how good the production is, to be absolutely lifeless radio fodder at its worst. And that's where we heard a lot of it. And it was on at parties that were really dull.
Yeah. Yeah. And it was big on the radio. You know, back in the day, we were listening to 2SM and those sorts of stations,
Rubbish.
and that was just what was going down.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, I think time has not been kind to this album.
No.
And rightly so. It rarely crops up in anyone's assessment of great albums or even singles. And whilst it's a double album from the 80s, if you hadn't insisted on putting it in albums you must hear before you die, it probably wouldn't have got a run on my list either.
I'm surprised it's there.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Yeah, it's pretty awful, isn't it?
So I listened to it.
Oh, dear.
And I confirmed my my belief that it really isn't that great.
Yeah.
It's a massive, as I said, it's a massive album, but it's just not us at all, really, is it?
Well,
and we don't like to bag out. We don't like to bag musos.
That's right.
We tend to just ignore it and just move on. But it's in the book as one of the great albums you must listen to. If you don't worry.
Yeah. No, there's no reason that it should be in the book other than it's a compendium of a whole lot of different reviewers' work that Bob Dimery has collated, and he's taken it on board. That whoever I don't suppose it doesn't matter who wrote it, who wrote that review. Bob's taken it on board, as in it was a big album from the 70s or 80s or whenever it was, and
voila,
it's in the book.
It's in the book. Done.
Yeah.
Tick. Yeah. If we get to another 1,001 albums you must listen to before you die, it would not surprise me if it's not in the book.
That would be a fair outcome.
Because I think Bad Bunny will knock it out. That's what do you think?
Oh, God, you showed me something about Bad Bunny last night. It was bloody atrocious.
It's sort of Spanish.
Oh, see.
He was at the Super Bowl. He did the Super Bowl this year.
Yeah, look.
You must have missed it.
It's American, isn't it?
You must have missed it.
I must have. How silly am I?
Yeah, no, if you're not doing Bad Bunny, at least he's original. He's original.
Is he?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, does all his own stuff. Anyway, mate, let's move on. Let's move away from mediocre double albums into great double albums. Yep. Give us a rundown, mate.
Absolutely. Well, when we talked about double albums last year and how they very much are a function of obviously creation of records, you couldn't have one without it, but the development of music. There's not a lot of 60s double albums, a couple of great ones, but not a lot. Double albums came into their own in the 70s with things like Exile on Main Street, The Wall, Layla. But through the 80s, there were a few really good double albums containing some of the best music that we've ever encountered. And I think that's a good description of double albums. There's a few duds around the world, around over the last 30, 40, 50 years. Yeah. But in general, I think it's a fairly safe assumption, other than out of the blue, that double albums contain some of the best music in artists' careers. Yeah, we spent a lot of time talking about Goodbye Yellow Brick Road a couple of years back. Which again is a terrific album. Exile on Main Street, as I just mentioned, is probably my favourite Stones album.
Yeah, sure.
And a few other things like that. I mean, I love Layla. Not a Clapton fan, but I love Layla. Yeah, just love that album. Yeah. And Hot August Night. Who can go past? Whether you like it or not, and whether you think Neil Diamond yuck, it was an album that was formative for anyone in our generation.
Absolutely,
yeah. And it's got some. It's the type of concert you would have liked to have gone to see.
And if you don't love Tree People, you never will.
That's right.
After listening to
I'm singing for you too, Tree People.
Fantastic.
So
I even drove to the Greek Theatre just to look at it.
Well, you would.
It was closed. There was nothing there. I drove in. It's just a big car park out the front, but I had to go and have a look at the Greek Theatre when I was in LA.
Did you go and have a look at the trees?
I didn't even think about going and have a look at the trees.
Apparently they're around the fence, and you climb up a tree and you can see over the fence.
it's completely nondescript. I think it's the only way to describe it.
Well, it's lucky that it's on a record and not a video. Then.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. That's right.
Look, I don't know whether double albums are a cash grab by the record labels or an example of uncontrollable egos by the artists. And I think in some cases it may be both.
Yeah.
But look, with the stuff that we've talked about and we will talk about today, there's some absolutely bloody amazing albums that are illustrative of how prolific the artists that we're talking about are. You know, Prince.
Is it so I guess there's the two types of the album. There is the to coin the Monty Python phrase, the contractual obligation where one is required in order to and let's think about the White Album. That was basically the Beatles, you know, getting over to Apple Music.
Yeah.
And you know, the Revolution Number 9 is not necessarily a song you would necessarily put on an album, but it's there. So or is it, you know, as I say, is it a contractual obligation or is it in fact an outpouring of creativity that you've got to get it out on a double album because you've got so much stuff to get out there?
Look, I tend to think that it's more of the latter. We're based on our experience and exposure to double albums. There's very few labels that are going to. I mean, White Album's probably a good example, but there's very few labels that will accept that would have accepted a double album as let's buy out the contract with a double album. Yeah. Given their mixed reputation.
Yeah, no, true. But nonetheless, it's interesting.
So Prince,
Prince,
not our normal stream of music, but he is just bloody fantastic, and he owned the 80s. He was around, and he was everywhere in everything, and had two spectacular double albums that, you know, are regarded as some of the greatest albums of rock, and certainly right at the top of the tree for dance funk music. And
this is a man that is a music writing machine, isn't he? You know, the amount of people that have used his material, made songs, you know, had very, very successful songs from his writings is amazing. And then he thought, oh, well, I may as well do it myself, you know, and just amazing output of high quality music.
He really is. And if you look, a reviewer, I didn't write down where they were from, but a reviewer called Nothing Compares to You, not one of Prince's finest moments.
Oh, really?
And described Sinead O'Connor's version as a fairly flat, lacklustre rendition of an ordinary song, which I hope that someone killed that guy afterwards.
He'd be shot with a derringer.
Absolutely by
Papalope's
Dana or something, Dana Papaladi,
well,
whatever. The 80s was a very odd decade. It really was. It was a change from the 60s, which was, and the 70s. The 60s, which was very straight-laced, and you see the bands all dressed in the same suits and hairstyles and what have you. You know, the Supremes all pointing in the same direction on the film clip. You know, stopping in the name of love.
Stop. Yeah, love it.
Introduced in the middle of the 80s, MTV. So who were the two artists above all else who benefited from MTV? Michael Jackson and Prince.
Brilliant.
For two reasons. One, because their music was what the public wanted and it was interesting. And two, because more established bands didn't see the stop sign. They didn't produce or didn't adapt to the film clip world, and so they were left behind for quite some time, in some cases forever. But even big bands didn't necessarily see the benefit of film clips and didn't jump on the benefit, on the potential benefit of MTV straight away. Which led, of course, to a number of really strange one-hit wonders, because the clip was better than much of the other stuff that was being played on the radios.
True.
Yeah, the giants of the 70s, they really struggled through the 80s, and again, you put them in that box about MTV, and they just didn't quite grasp it. Yeah. Dylan, McCartney, the Stones, very conspicuous by their absence at the start of MTV. But Michael Jackson, with clips like Thriller, and Beat It, almost pieces of art all by themselves.
Indeed.
And then of course, then Prince, who's producing wonderful songs, really fun songs that you want to hear, and clips which were full of life and full of interest, the sort of thing you want to see on a film clip show.
Great sing-alongs.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great sing-alongs.
Yeah. So those two, Prince was highly prolific, as you've already said. You know, he just churned it out everywhere. We won't go into, and I know we threatened to on numerous occasions do an episode on Prince, and we may still do that. But look, I actually must admit, I feel a bit daunted by Prince because he does so much work, so much quality. You know,
I think we should do it. I think we should set a time and we'll do it.
We'll think about that. But I'm a bit concerned about not doing him justice.
Yeah, true.
Yeah,
he's very good, very good.
Yeah. So
and we've mentioned this before. A great muso, a great songwriter, just an all-round artist that just was amazing.
That's right. If one of your dud songs is Nothing Compares to You,
yeah, that's your dud.
Excuse me.
Oh yeah, that was a bit of a dud, wasn't it?
Yeah. And 1999, everybody knows that song, and it gets referenced often. Even I was listening to Weird Al Yankovic the other day, who was doing a song about the Amish, and he says, If thee does thy chores and I do mine, tonight we're going to party like it's 16.99.
I love Weird Al Yankovic.
He's fantastic.
He is fantastic.
Yeah.
He a great. Is it polka music? Is where he came from. Polka music.
Yeah. He loves that sort of stuff.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Yeah, and he's probably more worthy of doing an episode because we could do that properly.
Yeah. Good idea.
3 hits off the album 1999 from 1982. 1999, the title track. Which is, it just goes on and on. It was really stayed front of mind until the turn of the millennium.
Yep.
It was the song that got played most in 1999 because obviously
we're going to party like it's.
We're going to party like it's 1999. Little Red Corvette, which I just love. It's a great song, which we talked about in Baby You Can Drive My Car when we talked about car songs. And Delirious, which is just a straight out funk screamer. It's a really, really good song, and it's a sophisticated sound. It was something new. It wasn't just a bit of play that funky music, white boy. It was I'm going to invent something new. I'm going to play that you won't be able to avoid tapping your feet to, no matter who you are. And he influenced music, or dance music in particular, for about 20 years afterwards. So right up until the start of the new decade, it's the new millennium rather. It was very much a Prince influence all the way through.
And anybody can have a line that says "masturbating with a magazine" in a song is great.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's an obvious winner.
Sort of obsolete nowadays, really, isn't it?
Well, that's right. Yeah, unless you're on the internet, which is not necessarily
an e-magazine.
An e-magazine, indeed. Yeah, with instant links. This album got awarded so much in 1999. It was certified quadruple platinum. This is back in the days when you actually bought an album. Rolling Stone included it on their 500 greatest albums of all time. And in 2008, even before Warren Zevon, it was inducted into the Grammy Hall of Fame.
Fantastic.
Yep.
Fantastic.
Then he did it again in 1987 with Sign of the Times.
It's amazing, isn't it?
And we're there talking about his prolific his talent for churning out fantastic music. He was recording this. They just went into the studio and started playing and planning and producing new stuff. Recorded enough for a triple album. And then the label said, "Yeah, look, it's a little difficult to sell a triple. Let's see if we can trim it down to a great double."
Amazing.
Yeah. Three top 10 hits. Sign of the Times, You Got the Look, and I Could Never Take the Place of Your Man. Oh, what a lovely sentiment.
You got the look.
And funnily enough, when Prince died nearly 30 years later, the album re-entered the charts. It got to number 20, which most people can't do in their life, but he did it again.
Sneaks in.
Absolutely. And in the Grammys, for the 30th Grammy Awards, which is whatever year that is, 1988, he was nominated as Album of the Year. And sadly, probably indicative of the state of the American music industry, it didn't win. It's such is life.
Such is life indeed. It's a strange old world, prizes, music gongs, isn't it?
Well, particularly the US music industry.
Yes, very fickle.
Yes, indeed. Rattle and Hum.
From one of my favourite bands.
One of your favourite bands. And after this is the album after your favourite album, which is The Joshua Tree.
One of my
which
favourite
I must
bands.
agree is just a stunning album.
I think it's their pinnacle.
Yeah, every track on this album is fantastic. But this Rattle and Hum is a sort of live album, a sort of a studio album, and sort of a covers album. It's who knows, who understands what it's all about. But it got to number one. And as I say, this is a follow-up to Joshua Tree, which I don't think we're alone in our rhapsodies about how great this album that album is. But this one, a double album, bunch of new studio tracks, enough to make a good strong single album.
Yep.
So then they did a US tour.
Yep.
And they recorded some more songs that they had in their back pocket that had never appeared on albums. So the release of those new songs was live on Rattle and Hum. And then they did a bunch of covers, including Helter Skelter, which is an awesome cover of Helter Skelter.
It is a great song.
I would go almost as far as to say that it's as good as, if not better than, the Beatles version.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
I actually think you're right. It's a great version.
Yep. It had a documentary film that went with it, which informed any of the film clips about the songs written.
I don't think I've ever seen it, I must admit.
I've never seen the album as an entire piece, no.
No, there you go.
But things like When Love Comes to Town with B.B. King on it.
That's great.
It really is so good. Pride in the Name of Love, which I've always loved. It's one of their early songs. I still haven't found what I'm looking for, a live rendition of that from the Joshua Tree.
Just back, that B.B. King, that song with Love Comes to Town with B.B. King, that is an awesome, awesome song.
And they don't treat it as, oh, here's B.B. King come to play with us, the number one band in the world. They're all having fun.
Yeah,
it's really, and that's important when you listen to rock and roll. People say, oh, there's a great album, blah, blah, racka, racka. If they're not having fun, what's the bloody point?
That's exactly right. No, that is an absolutely awesome album.
And the single off this album was Desire, which was the band's first number one single in Australia.
Really?
Yeah, believe it or not.
It's funny, that's the second time you've mentioned how a number one, like, sort of, you expect them to already have had a number one hit, but it comes much later than you think.
Well, exactly right. Exactly.
It makes you wonder about what was number one that was keeping them off. Oh, we know. Shit.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it was on the top 40. Yeah. One worrying or concerning point about this album, even at the time that it was released, was that it highlighted the emergence and development of Bono's Messiah complex. Yeah, he came to believe that he was the person to lecture everyone in the world about everything that was wrong. Not saying the things he said were wrong, but just to put yourself up on that pinnacle as thou shalt be the person we refer to for everything.
I think, however, that they all moved on, and once they got it in their bonnet that they would make the Sphere in Las Vegas, I feel that it grounded them. It really did ground them.
Of course, yes.
And, to see the Sphere used so iconically in the F1, Las Vegas F1, as eyes follow the cars around, it's a great achievement for a rock band.
You may well be right.
And they played
Probably
the Sphere.
not, but you may well be.
They did a residency at the Sphere.
Yeah.
Which is kind of, I spoke about it last year, I think. It's kind of interesting because of the entire outside of the Sphere is a TV, a big, massive TV, but with lots of screens on it, as is the inside. So you can build amazing visual shows, and in order to do that, you actually need to have specialist skills because you've got such a huge palette to work on. So, and then plus they have amazing sound in there as well. So, I mean, it's a bit of a wank, but it is quite an amazing venue. I would like to go there one day.
I think you should.
And see something interesting.
Yeah, I don't think I'll be able to go to the US again.
I don't think either of us will. Well, we may at some point if we delete or we get a new phone and start from scratch. Delete all history
yes.
of our social media and stuff like that, all our likes on the weird shit that Trump does.
Yeah.
He's been a busy boy lately, hasn't he?
He has indeed. Yeah.
He has indeed. But look, if he finally disappears and we could go to the US, we should go to the Las Vegas Grand Prix.
Well, let's do that. Yeah,
and we'll go to the Sphere and see U2 play.
I think that's a good idea. Can you imagine how this album would have gone on?
It would be great.
Yeah.
It would actually be
Rattle and Hum. Yeah, it probably would have been. Yeah.
It would have been great. It would have been really good. I'd love to have seen it. I would love to have. Yeah. Anyway, even late some of their later concerts, when they were touring, they came to Australia. You know, when he used to just dial. Remember, halfway through the concert, he would just ring someone randomly.
Bono.
And he was the devil. What was he, Mr. Can't remember his name.
Mephisto.
Mr. Mephisto. And he just hello and start talking to these people around. They go, hello, such and such burgers or something like that. And he would just talk really weird shit to them, and they would eventually hang up. But yeah, that concert, that tour that they did that in, was massive. Like the amount of equipment they had on that tour was just massive. So they were a big touring band.
They were.
And this is early on, probably a little bit more of a grounded tour as opposed to a lot of the special effects they would have had later on in their touring careers.
Yep, I think so. Husker Du.
I don't think they ever did quite the same level of massive shows that U2 would have done later in their career.
I don't think they did. No, they did not. A middle-ranked punk, if you like, band from Midwest USA, and it's pretty ambitious to release a double album as your second album.
Very ambitious.
When you have such a reasonably niche market. Now, you know I love them.
Sure.
Husker Du, Bob Mould.
Bob Mould.
But a double album really highlights their melodic overlay, over their fast and loud approach. You know, the drums and the vocals very, very fast.
But Bob Mould is not the kind of guy to rest on his laurels.
He's not
constantly working, and we saw him year before last.
Yes, yeah.
Just him solo. But I was watching when we were talking about him last year or year before. I was doing a bit of YouTubing around the place, watching him, and he was putting together a compilation of a lot of old works and rare recordings and outtakes and all that sort of stuff. And the amount of effort that he put into making that all happen, massive amount of effort.
Absolutely.
And once again, this is not U2 here. This is not Rolling Stones. This is a guy that's, makes his living out of music, but he's not going to be, a multi-billionaire out of his music by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah, he's making a living, not getting a limo.
But clearly ultra passionate in what he's doing, which is great.
Yeah. And the band was like that, they're very much an approach. This is loosely a concept album. The album is called Zen Arcade from '84. What a concept. Boy runs away from an abusive home and finds out that the world is just as bad.
What a letdown.
Yeah, bit of a downer. But the music's great. It's got some really, really good songs on it. Yeah. So we'll put a couple of those on the playlist.
Yeah, great.
Talking Heads live.
Oh.
Talking Heads did a couple of live albums.
Yeah.
I mean, we know, and we've talked before about Stop Making Sense, both the movie and the album.
We never got to see it at the theatres, though, did we?
Not yet. No,
I don't think we ever will now because they did the remaster of it.
They did, yes.
And we talked about it, and then I think after that we talked about it a bit more, and then it was gone.
Yeah. I think we both got sick at various intervals.
Anyway, so I think we'll just have to watch it on telly.
I think we'll find it, yeah.
Watch it on telly. But it was a remake, and they did and they were out and about in the on all the talkie circuit as well, talking about the remix and all that sort of stuff. It was great to see them all out there. All four of them was great.
Yeah, on different venues.
Late night
still
television.
Can't stand each other.
Yeah, no, late night television. No, they're all together on one.
Oh.
I saw one. Might have been Jimmy Kimmel. I think they were all together there chatting away.
Oh, isn't that nice?
And David Byrne didn't try to hog the microphone or anything like that. It was very good, very diplomatic on all of them.
Very good. Yeah. Well, this album is great from '82. It's it's not just a live album. Here's a concert. Hello, Seattle. You know, we're glad to be here. This is recorded over for again, a startup band. You know, he must have an ego, no, it does have an ego the size of Texas, right? And it's recorded over 4 years at venues across the USA. You know, really quite extraordinary stuff. And it really summarises their entire career up to that date, the first 10 years or so.
And if this was the 70s, they would have forgotten that they were making an album over 4 years.
Maybe, yes.
Halfway through, they go, what?
Although I don't know if Talking Heads were, I've never heard anything that suggests that Talking Heads were a druggy band.
No, that's what I was saying. But if it was the 70s.
Oh, I see. If it was, yeah.
Yeah.
We're making an album, man. Excellent.
Shall we go back to doing that album, boys?
And we did it.
Wow.
It'll be great when you release it. No, we did that last year. Didn't you get the check? The Cure in 87 did Kiss Me, Kiss Me, Kiss Me, which is a culmination of a long line of terrific albums by The Cure. Yeah, I can't think of anything they've done that was a dud. And to do a great double album that really contained all of their styles, psychedelic, goth, that post-punk style, that new wave, even pop, as in popular. Right?
Yeah. Good album. I love it. I had to listen to it just the other day, actually.
Yeah.
Great album, actually.
It is. And the hits on it.
Yeah.
Just Like Heaven and Why Can't I Be... I've always loved Why Can't I Be You as one of my favourite Cure tracks.
Oh, I thought you were saying it about me.
I was.
Oh, thanks.
Well, there you go. And there's another song on there which is a very typical Robert Smith love song, which nice lyrics and really it sounds like he means it. You know, he says, "How beautiful you are, slow and moody." And the cover of the album is a close-up. Obviously, it's Kiss Me, Kiss Me, Kiss Me. It's a close-up of a pair of lips. Really, really zoomed in.
Yeah, right. We keep talking about this, but I didn't notice I was playing it, obviously streaming it, didn't even notice the cover.
I know, it's
a bit of a disappointment.
such a loss these days that the record cover is gone by the wayside. It had a diminishing loss. It started with record covers, which were great, and we talked about that many years ago now about what's your favourite record cover. Yeah. And we talked about they're great pieces of art just by themselves. And then that shrunk down a little bit to a CD, which had small picture on the back, small picture on the front, and if they were really precious, it had a little book inside. But the record company didn't like that because it was a lot more expensive.
Too expensive.
Yes, so they didn't bother to do that. And now, if you're streaming, you get Play Me Something by The Cure.
And if you do see the picture, it's like 300 by 300 pixels, and really you can't
stamp size,
you can't really see much on it.
Exactly right.
And to be honest, I don't have any room for records anyway anymore, so I have to stream.
Yeah, well, that's true.
Downsize, don't have any room.
Well, I did the same. Yeah.
So, sorry.
I sold all my records, but I haven't quite got rid of my CD collection yet. Even though I can only play them on my computer, which still
Three
has
little
a CD
little
drive.
Computer speakers.
Well, no, you play them and then you link it to something else that plays music loud.
Right. Okay.
What about The River by Springsteen?
Brilliant.
Yeah. Again, it's another album that this is the other one you were referring to when you said, how come we don't know about this or we don't think about this? This has got Hungry Heart, which was Bruce Springsteen's first number one. Yeah, he'd been a bloody star, a huge star.
Massive.
I have seen the future, and its name is Bruce Springsteen. For 10 years.
You remember when we were younger and the hype that came with Springsteen at the beginning?
Oh yeah.
The hype was just insane. He just burst onto the scene.
Yeah.
And, with great live clips, the clips were amazing.
Yeah.
And you would have assumed he had a string of number ones.
Yeah.
But he didn't.
No, he didn't. And I think that I have seen the future, and his name is Bruce Springsteen. I think that turned off as many people as it turned on. Yeah. Because I can remember his first clips very early in the day, things like Rosalita, which was just a live show, and edited to include the song. And I thought, wow, this bloke looks terrific. But
Born in the USA. And all
all of that sort of stuff. That's all 10 years before this.
Yeah, that's right.
And but I don't know about you, but I don't like being told what to like. Yeah, someone tells me about an album, give it a listen. Happy days, that's great.
Yeah.
But for someone to tell me this is the best thing you'll ever hear, I think, well, I could probably make that decision.
Be interesting now. How do you do the huge hype? You get the influencers in to stand around and and talk to Bruce.
Oh, yeah, well...
Hi, Bruce.
Yeah.
Oh, what you doing?
Yeah. How would it work with this album? Like Hungry Heart. But for me, this has got some great Bruce Springsteen rock type songs. It's working man rock, really good, honest music. But The River is just an absolute knockout. Even today, look, I find the song, it's now, when was this album? This album was...
1980.
Bloody hell, that's 45 years ago. And Bruce Springsteen is still more muscular than most people I know. Yeah.
Still caring for the elderly.
Well, so he has to. He's the only one who can stand up straight without a walker.
That's right.
Yeah.
Did have a topple recently, as we mentioned, I think, in Rock News. He had a bit of a topple, but he's okay. He's back on his feet.
Back on deck, yep.
Touring again.
Yep. Yes. I wonder what he thinks about our comments about him. But anyway, they're all in the best of intentions because we both love Bruce Springsteen.
We do.
He's great. What about XTC? XTC, that English band, never been a big hit in the US. Probably because they're a little quirky, they're a little bit talented.
A little bit talented.
Yeah. More so than you find in most... less obvious than you find in most US music.
This is a great album.
And the album is called English Settlement.
Great song.
It is, yeah.
Great song.
And the album also contains one of my favourites, Senses Working Overtime. And I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 senses working overtime. Oh, nice little harmony there.
Thank you, mate.
Yeah. The overall result was crap, but, but nonetheless.
If only we could sing, Mick, we wouldn't be doing a podcast.
That's very true. We'd release albums to be put through Spotify without a cover. Look, the XTC started in the mid-70s, an abrasive, arty, new wave band, but they quickly evolved over a couple of albums to what we know now, that sort of semi-acoustic, beautifully structured, well-produced pop music.
Fantastic.
And I don't know whether to pull myself up or not, because I've started to use that word pop. I heard somebody talking about it recently, saying because of pop and because of the top 40, it's acquired a connotation of meaning crappy music, meaningless music. But it's not. The term pop came from popular.
Yeah, that's right.
And you can just as readily, you can call XTC pop. You can readily call REM pop, and it's top quality music.
That's right. Yeah, no, they're a great band.
Yeah. The cover of the album, which... Again, people aren't going to see the cover because they're going to stream it, but it's a photo of a green hillside, and it's of a Neolithic carving into the side of the hillside of a horse, and it's very well artistic of those Neolithic people, very well done indeed, and it's in Oxfordshire in England. I see this album. This is where they sort of set the marker in the ground for what they were going to do for the rest of the 80s. Works like Dear God, which starts off the first verse being sung by a kid, complaining about God, if you're so interested in the world and you're looking after us, how come all of this really horrible stuff happens?
A valid question.
Yeah, and Andy Partridge, the guy who wrote it, he actually had a bit of a nervous breakdown after that particular song later on, because he kept getting death threats from all of these wonderful, loving Christians.
Good. No, fair enough too. I mean, when you love God, you need to threaten people with death.
That's exactly right.
No, that's fair.
It's a little bit hard to see that they're big complainers about these terrible Muslims.
The bloody Muslims.
Yeah,
radical Muslims.
Yeah. I think
they have jihad. We just send it via Facebook that we're going to kill you.
That's right. Exactly right. And the Mayor of Simpleton. So I love XTC. I think this album is a perfect marker in the 80s, and I think it's probably a perfect time for us to finish this episode.
Oh, just quickly, one of the sad parts about XTC was they Another one of these bands was ripped off by their management.
Oh, no.
Didn't get all their money from their record sales, all their tours and all that sort of stuff. So I just think, God almighty, what is wrong with some of these people? Greed is such a sad thing, and it occurred quite a lot in the rock industry, didn't it?
Seriously?
Well, that's my understanding. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I don't know, maybe. Anyway, Mick,
Who'd have thought it?
who would have thought? On that note, ladies and gentlemen, we thank you for your attendance, and we hope that you enjoy this episode, and we will see you next time.
Bye.
Well, folks, that's a wrap. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you're enjoying this, tell your friends about us.